Hoda Kotb, welcome to Meet the Press.
Oh my God! Wait. Do you know I don't think I've ever been on Meet the Press.
Well,
this is a first.
Is a big moment for us to have you. It's an honor.
Thank you. Thanks, Kristen.
Thank you for being here and for taking this time to have this conversation. And I just want to get caught up with you. You made this monumental decision to step away from the Today Show, one of the most coveted roles in all of broadcast news. You've been at NBC for 26 years. How are you doing? What is life like right now?
First of all, my time at NBC lives in me. You know, certain things you carry for the rest of your life, and I get to carry that. So for 26 years, I did similar things every single day. And one day, Kristen, in January, I woke up and my alarm didn't go off at 3:30. And I went downstairs to my office and Haley ran down. And she looked at me and she said, at 5 a.m., she said, "You really are here." And I think in that tiny moment, I was like, this decision was right on so many levels. And post Today's Show, look, I've lived my life on one track, and I realized that when you switch chapters, you can be a beginner all over again. I'm learning how to sleep again. I hadn't done that in decades. I'm learning new skills. I'm learning how to be a mom who's there almost all of the time. I'm learning all these things in my 60s. And I feel like it's my whole kind of be a beginner again era. It's like start all over.
When you have a day or you have just spent with your girls and you realize the gift of that, do you stop and take a moment to just take in how enormous that is?
Yes. And you know what? I realized that most of my interactions with my kids before were commands. Get this, go to bed, get your shoes, don't forget, where's your homework? You know, things that parents need to check off the list. But what I wasn't doing was just being there without asking a question, without telling them to do something or to clean something or to pick something up or what, you know, all of a sudden I was just with them. And that time, that in-between time is everything. So now I feel like I'm knowing them in a way that I don't think I knew them before. I knew them well, obviously, but most of life happens in between moments. You know, I was rushing when I got home. It's like dinner, bedtime, go, go, go. And now I feel like life has slowed down, like same amount of time, but we are going slower. And I feel that. I feel that with them.
Do you ever wake up and miss it and say, boy, if I could go back just for an hour, I would do it?
Let me tell you, I do miss it because it's like something that you loved so deeply inside you. And suddenly one day it's not there. And it's painful. I mean, it really is. Like, I remember walking out on the plaza. I remember greeting all these awesome people. I remember holding Savannah's hand in good times and in bad. And I remember hugging Jenna and all of it. I miss it all. I miss it all. And I'm grateful for where I am and what I'm beginning, my new start. So I think both things you can hold in your hands, right? You can miss and love something and also be excited for the next thing.
Well, I want to talk about the next thing, but before we get there, I have to talk about the extraordinary career that you've had and the way that you got started. You've written about the fact that when you were just beginning, you had this big dream to be a broadcast journalist, and you got rejected 27 different times.
Yeah, to my face.
But you didn't give up, Hoda. So many people would have given up. It would have rattled so many people. What is it in you that kept you going?
I played high school basketball, and I was a believer. I believed we could win. We could be down 10 points with 2 minutes. I believed. And I was one of those people who was used to rejection because you know how life is. I mean, look, when you're a kid with a funny name and crazy hair and funky glasses in school, you're not the one who gets asked out. You're not the one, I wasn't the A+ student. I wasn't all those things. So getting a no was not unusual to me. I could handle a no. I wasn't so good that a no was devastating to me. I was like, oh, of course it's a no. That's the F6 button. I didn't get it. So I'm going to try that door and I'm going to try that one. So all those rejections all of the reason that I could withstand that, and it bruised me, it hurt me, it was painful, but I was used to it. So I think the road is littered with people who have quit because their ego was bruised. And if you can get past that part, there's open road. Because the ones who hang in, you're like, oh my God, the driving's so easy up here. It's clear because it's too hard, or my feelings got hurt. Boom, boom, boom. They fall out of the way. So I think that's why I stayed on the path. And I think staying on that path, it was all baby steps that would have not made sense that would have led me here. All those baby steps seem like, oh God, you're in a job that you made more money when you worked at Ponderosa? Like, how's this going to lead anywhere? But eventually, all those little experiences added up to something.
When that first news director gave you a shot in Mississippi, what was that moment like for you?
I wept, man.
You did? You cried?
Wept. I cried because he looked me in the eye and he said something I'll never forget after watching my tape. He looked at the tape and he said, I like what I see. I was like, you do? Oh my God. Oh my God. Nobody likes this. You liked it? Like, I couldn't believe it. I mean, imagine having 27 guys tell you no when you're asking them to dance, and the last guy says yes. And you're like, wait, what? So this guy said yes to me. And I knew in that moment, like, I was going to work my tail off. I was going to prove he was right. I was going to prove those others were wrong. Like, I was going to work it. And I wasn't the best. I was green. I didn't know what I was doing, but nobody was going to outwork me. Nobody. I was going to be there before everybody. I was going to stay after everybody.
Is that the key?
I think so. I think outworking beats talent every time. There are far more talented people than all the people here in 30 Rock, quite frankly.
Well, no, I think everyone would disagree with you there. I have to fact check you. That's not true, Hoda. You have an unbelievable talent.
But I think that there are talented people who just gave up too early, or who thought, I can't do it, kind of thing. And I feel like, I do feel like the hanging in is the common thread among people here. It's like, you've been through it too. We've all been through it.
Yes.
Savannah's been through it. You've been through it. We've all been through it. And here we stand. Why? It's like, it's the work.
Well, and you put in years of work in local news, and then you finally got a big shot at NBC, 1998, a correspondent for Dateline.
Yeah, shocking, right?
Which is extraordinary. Yeah. Did you feel like, I've made it?
I felt like I got the job and I wasn't ready. Like, I got the job and everybody was better. I got the job and everyone was a better writer. I got the job and everyone was a better interviewer. And I wasn't wrong. I was new. And it was terrifying to me. I felt like I might sink. I had a secure job in New Orleans where that was my town. That was my anchor desk. Those were my people. And I could have stayed there forever. And I left and I came here and I was a cog in a wheel. And they told me, you have 6 months to work here. And if you don't make it, you'll be fired. Do you want to try it? I was like, I want to try it. I want to try it.
You pushed past that fear.
I pushed past it. And I became a student all over again. I was like in college. I was learning all over again. I went to some of the great interviewers, John Hockenberry, who was here at the time. I was like, show me, teach me, tell me. I saw a great interview. I said, how did you do that? I used to read people's scripts in my office. I was like, oh my God, they strung 4 words together and my eyes are watering. Like, how did they do that? So I became a student all over again. So I had made it, but I was terrified. And I wondered if I was going to float or if I was going to sink.
But you floated and you soared.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a boss, Neil Shapiro, who believed in me for some reason. And I still, to this day, I just saw him probably a couple of months ago. And I get teary every time I see him because, someone who looks at you and says, look, you're green, but I see something. And this guy believed in me. And he changed the course of my life too. So working at Dateline, was a dream job. It really was.
And then you faced really what was the biggest challenge of your life in 2007, diagnosed with breast cancer. How did you push through that? And What did you learn about your own strength in that moment?
I think in the beginning, I was terrified. I thought that was it. I thought I was in my 40s and that was it. I was like, wow. So it made me reevaluate everything. For a second, I thought, I've dedicated my life to my career. I'm 40-something years old. I was in a marriage that wasn't working, and now I had breast cancer. And I was thinking to myself, like, what's God telling me here? Like, none of this is, something's not working here. And the diagnosis was terrifying. It scared me. I thought, I don't know what's going to happen after this. And then something happened. After I'd gone through the surgery and did all the stuff, I was in my house and I literally had this like 4-word epiphany. I popped up and I got, you can't scare me. I was like, I made it. I made it on the other side. I just faced the lion's jaws and I'm here. So what am I afraid of now? Tell me, what am I afraid of? I'm afraid to ask for a raise because what if they say no? I'm afraid to ask for a promotion because maybe I don't deserve it. I'm afraid. What am I afraid of? I got this weird, crazy courage that came after it. I was like this. I felt like more confident than I had ever felt before. Why? Because my life now had a beginning and an end. And I got to decide in this time, like, what am I going to do? How am I going to live this life? What am I going to do going forward? And so in that moment, I made a big decision that changed the course of my life here at NBC.
You asked for the Today Show, the 4th hour.
Girl, I asked for it. I never asked for anything here. I was always like working hard. They'll see me. I'm still here. They're going to give me a raise. It doesn't work like that. So I marched upstairs and asked them. I said, I want this job. I could do this job. Like, I believed it. I wasn't selling something I didn't believe. And Jeff Zucker at the time was like, okay, we'll see. Okay, calm it down, girl. And because of Jeff and another producer, I ended up getting that gig. And if I hadn't gotten sick, I wouldn't have had the guts. I wouldn't have had the courage to go ask for it. So, you know, I thought it took me to that extreme to get courage, but it changed the course of my life, for sure.
What you're saying is so powerful because you weren't afraid and you weren't asking. You were saying, I'm the right person for this job.
Actually, yes. That's actually, yes. Because asking for it is like, I'm not sure. I was explaining that I was the one. And I have to tell you, I was walking down the street and I will never forget it. My phone rang and it was the folks at NBC and they were like, hey, Hoda, you got the 4th hour today. And I screamed. I called my mom on the phone. Mom, I got the 4th hour. What is that? It's amazing. Don't worry. It's amazing. But anyway, it was a life changer.
And when you heard that Today Show open, the first time you sat on the set of the 4th hour?
With Kathy Lee. I was with a legend. I mean, you know, we grew up watching Regis and Kathy Lee, and suddenly there she was right next to me. And she chose me, you know, she chose me too. And I think hearing our names and seeing her, I was kind of in awe of her. And I remembered looking at her and thinking, like, is this for real? Am I sitting next to this broadcasting legend? And I felt like I was sort of reflected glory. I was like next to the one, you know, you sort of get caught up in the glow of Kathy Lee. But what I loved about her is she kept saying, you shine your own light. Like, you have your own light. And she was big on that. She was big on that.
Well, I was going to say, that's when the world, I think, saw your light. And I had friends who talked about that show and you and Kathy Lee, like they were sitting at the table with you, like they were best friends with you. And that's a gift, to be able to reach people all across the country. Did you realize you were doing that, or is it just
Well, you know
organic?
what's funny? I was somebody who was a rule follower, so I wanted to look at camera 1 and camera 2 and study my notes. Camera 1, camera 2, study my notes, listen to the producer. Kathy was always sitting here yapping and whine and hey girl, and they're like, wrap her, you know, they're telling me all these things. And one day Kath looked at me and she goes, hey, I'm right here. And I'm right here. And I go, well, she goes, get rid of your cards. I'm right here. And I remembered, I looked at her and for the first time we talked. And in this moment, it was real. It was as if there was nobody else there but us. So Kath used to say, if we're having fun, they're having fun. And so all of a sudden, that's what we did. We had conversations that were real and organic and authentic. Like you wouldn't even call a conversation with your girlfriend authentic. You'd just say, we're talking. That's what we did. We talked. And I think that's when everything changed. And Kath said, now we've got lightning in a bottle. Now we have what Regis and I have. Now we have that X factor. And it was true because we stopped doing TV and started having conversations.
Well, you took that magic and you made history in 2018 along with Savannah Guthrie.
We are kicking off the year right because Hoda is officially the co-anchor of today. Let's give her a round of applause.
What did that moment feel like to rewrite the history books?
Yeah, it was incredible. I mean, it came because of unfortunate circumstances. So we were kind of in an interesting position because it was after that whole scandal had happened and me and Savannah were together. So we were together through thick and thin. And actually, that's when I knew that we had each other's back. Because in that moment, I knew that I would catch her and she would catch me. And so as we sat there as the first female anchor team, I don't know if it hit me. You know, we just thought we were both good at different things and worked well together. You know, we each had our strengths. So it worked whether we were man or woman, didn't even matter. We just worked. But the significance didn't happen until I went to a Soul Cycle class after work one day and everyone starts clapping. You know how in Soul Cycle it's someone's birthday, happy birthday. I was like, oh, who's getting the cake? And they were still clapping and I go, what's happening? They go, it's for you and Savannah. Y'all made us proud. And I was like, oh my God, like to realize that it had an impact on women mattered. And another lady said to me, my little girl now knows that when she turns on the television and looks for two people, a man doesn't always have to be the one with the authority who's bringing her the news. It can be women too, two women in fact. And it felt empowering and amazing and magical. And also it was good journalism and good television, and it just worked on a regular level.
Well, I think it inspired journalists all across the country, women all across the country. You got that job when you were 53.
Is that crazy?
You have transformed, I think, the way that people think about what women can do in this industry, in their 50s, in their 60s. That is significant. And you did it unintentionally. Did you ever think that that would be possible, that you'd get that job when you're 53 years old?
No, but what I realized is the 50s always seem like, well, that's all over now. You hit 50.
But you changed that.
But it felt like, I feel like it did change for all of us. Like I didn't, it's funny, when you said 53, I actually thought to myself, what happened when I was 53? I was wondering what you were going to say. I didn't realize that was that was when I got that gig, which I think shows you how I see age in general. Because, I sort of see it all kind of like that. But I do think it does matter. And I think everywhere now we look, there are women walking the walk like that. There's Robin Roberts, there was Meredith Vieira, there's Gail, there's, you look around, Savannah, of course, all these women who are of a certain age are kind of dominating the news scene, and I love it.
At the top of their game.
And you're like, look at me, like who knew?
Yeah.
I mean, I never thought in my 50s that I would be sitting in that chair doing that job. I mean, how could that be possible? But now we're showing that, women, doesn't matter how old you are, because what's inside you, the spirit part of you is there, and it'll come out no matter.
And the greatest blessing, I would assume, in your life also happened in your 50s, which is that you became a mom.
Yeah.
You adopted your two beautiful girls, Haley and Hope. And I have to say, Hoda, it inspired me to keep going in my own journey to become a mom. And I'm sure you have inspired women all across this country to keep going if they want to be parents. What was that like the first time you held baby Haley in your arms?
I remember it so clearly. We were at the adoption agency, and I heard her first. They open up these big doors, and a woman is carrying your child who's a month old. And when they placed Haley in my arm, she was right here. It fit like a puzzle piece fits in life. And I looked at her, and I had dreamt of this moment. I had written about it in my journal. I had prayed for it. I had hoped for it. I'd done all the things, and I used to say at night, like, I know you're out there somewhere, and I'm coming. Like, I knew that we were going to be together. And I remember that day clearly, and when they placed her in my arms, it is like, it's as if you're home. Like, it's as if you're home. I felt like I was home, probably for the first time.
Wow.
Yeah.
You felt her presence forever.
Forever.
As you wrote about in your children's
Yeah.
book, which I read to my daughter Margot
You
now,
do?
all the time.
Oh my God.
All the time. Because it's the story of not giving up hope.
No. Mm-mm.
That you can have that blessing.
And love, like, look, everything is right on time. And I try to remind myself of that. Like, I became a mom right on time. You know, this was the moment for me. If someone had told me long ago, you're right on time is all going to be in your 50s, I probably would have freaked out. But it doesn't matter, because right on time feels right. And the best decade, the best part of my life started at 50. Everyone's going to talk about their 30s and their 20s. Oh, weren't they magical in their 40s? Forget it. 50s and beyond, to me, is where it's all happening. And it's amazing.
I love that so much, Hoda. You've talked about, and the fact that sometimes you look at these beautiful, precious girls and you think, oh my gosh, do I deserve to have this? And I relate to that so well. And I think so many moms and dads probably relate to that feeling, because it's such an immense blessing. Where do you think that comes from? And what do you tell people about that feeling and what to do with it?
I think there are times where you think to yourself, am I worthy of them? They deserve everything. They deserve the best of everything. Am I enough? Am I worthy? Do I deserve these wonderful, incredible children? And I had questioned that, if I deserved them, for a long time. And then I kind of realized that, like, God places children exactly where they're meant to be, and they're meant to be with me. And I know now I do deserve them, and I will care for them and love them and nurture them and raise them up and give them all I have. And, you know, the heart's ability to expand is beyond measure. I have so much to pour into them. And I understand the feeling of, you know, am I enough? But the answer is yes, you are. Yes, you are. And I tell myself that too, all the time. Yes, you are. You know, we're going to struggle. Yes, you are. Are you perfect? No, you're not. Are you worthy? Yes, you are. Like, yes.
And you have all of these blessings in your life, and yet you have also known incredible heartache. I know that you lost your father suddenly to a heart attack.
Yeah.
Hoda, what do you think he would say, looking at your life right now, how full it is, full of love and success, and now you're charting a new course? What would he say?
I always wanted to hear the words from him, I'm proud of you. And I think now, looking at what I've built based on the foundation he built for me, like, this is all because he and my mom built this for me, this foundation. I think he'd be incredibly proud of me as a mother. Like, I did that. I think he would be super proud of me that I took a risk, and, you know, in my professional life too, and tried something new, because that's what he did. He took risks. I think he'd be proud to know that, and, you know, I talk to him sometimes about it, like, and this sounds weird, but on my last day of work, when I woke up that morning, I heard what sounded like him say, everything's going to be just fine. And I literally jumped up from my bed because it was weird. And I was like, oh my God, is he here? Like, is he watching over me? And I think he is. And I think he always has.
He's probably watching over what you're doing now with immense excitement, in addition to all of that pride, Hoda, and this wellness venture that you have embarked on to help people have better, healthier, more joyful lives. I'm going to look at my notes. Joy 101 is what it's called. And I was looking at this app that you have, which is so powerful. There's so many resources on it. What drew you to this space?
I was not a wellness person at all. I was a runner. I'd like spin classes. I ate broccoli. I tried to go to bed early. You know, I was trying to feel good. And I felt kind of not, I didn't have the little pep in my step that I wanted. And Jenna said to me one day, why don't you try breathwork class? I think you'll love it. I go, girl, I've been breathing for 58 years. I don't need your guidance. But I tried this class, Kristen, and she told me to take like a lower belly, a high chest, and out. Over and over. So I was like, okay, I'll do that. Some lady on Zoom. I was like, sure, let's do that. Yeah. After 10 minutes of doing it, I exploded in tears. And I literally freaked out. I go, what was that? And she goes, oh, that was a release. Good. You'll feel better. I felt like someone had squeegeed my brain. I felt like I had clarity and energy. I went to work the next day. After a good night's sleep, I had a pile of notes before the show. Everything was landing. Everything was landing. I was like, what's happening? It was so strange. And I thought, this can't be from one breath work. Like, what happened? So there's a lot of research and science behind it. So I did that. That checked a box. I was like, wow. So then someone was like, you should try meditation. I was like, I can't sit still. So I tried meditation. All of a sudden, I got ideas popping. It's like the dust settles. Your mind clears and you can, you know, there's room. So I was like, wow. And then one thing after another kept happening. And I was like, I'm into this. You know, I like fads, but this didn't feel like a fad. You know, like one of those people who's like, oh, I like Grun's gummies. You know, I'll eat them all day because I like something new. This was more than that. So all of a sudden I was looking online, where can I get that? And I couldn't find it. So I was like, you know what? We could build that. Like, why don't we build that? Why don't we build a place where nurses and teachers and regular people can try something they've never tried before, which I didn't either, give it a go, and realize that there's research and science that shows what happens to your brain, what happens to your body, and it's free. It's like medicine. It's like its own little thing. So I thought, I said, so I got my sister, of course, as I would do everything, my sister, my best friend, she had her best friend, and we're like, oh my God, we're all friends. So it was like a bunch of us got together and built this company. And we're doing retreats, and we have an app, and we're doing online stuff, and it's like we do virtual retreats. It's awesome. Like, I mean, I didn't know what building a business was like, but this is the bomb.
And this is more than a business for you.
Yeah,
I mean, this is
passion. It's real. Yeah. Girl, I feel like we women need something. We're tired. I feel it. It's like everyone's hunched over and they're walking around like that. It's like, take off the backpack. You don't even know you're hunched over because you've been walking like that for years. And let's figure out how we can make each other feel better. It's like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and you're done. That's it. Like that, to me, it's like a magic wand. And I'm one of those people who's like, you know, and that Jenna does it every day, you know, because she said, you know, I do it every single day and it makes me a better person, a more grounded person. And I will echo that. It's amazing.
Well, you're impacting and have spent your whole life impacting people's lives. And now you are doing that on another level, Hoda. It's really remarkable. I mean, how does that, when you think about the reach that one small app like that can have,
I think,
how powerful is that?
I feel like, you know, in my life, I wanted to be kind of a helper. Someone who helped, like, I felt like that was always my job, whether it was on the Today Show. And I remember at Dateline, sometimes I was working in a place and I thought, God, I wish I were the Red Cross. Like, I feel like I want to help. Well, you know, you want to be, and I feel like this is kind of another way to do that. It's like we can be helpers. We can help people feel better. We can help people have a happier morning. Because look, the truth of it is this, there are great days in your life. You know, you graduate from college, it's a girl, you did it, you got the job, and there are horrible days in your life. You lost him, he didn't make it, she got fired. But most days are just Wednesday. They're just a regular day when nothing great happens and nothing terrible happens. So my goal is to make Wednesdays better. Like, let's make Wednesdays better.
There's so many people across the country like you who've probably in their own careers accomplished great things and are thinking, but what's next?
What's next?
And you address this in your new book that's coming out, Jump and Find Joy. What does that mean?
It's about those people who are thinking about a change. You know, look, you can have a B+ life and think, why would I change this? It's a B+. Well, maybe you won't. And maybe you believe B+ is good enough, and that's great. But if you have like a C or a D life, you want to make a change. So this book is really about people on the ledge, thinking about, should I? What's on the other side? How do I do it? Is it too scary? Do I want to jump? So I talk a lot about things that have happened in my life. And we all have a history of jumping in and out of relationships or jobs or locations. And what do we do there? It's like repotting. We try something new. Let's see how it goes. And I also have incredible people who I've admired. Viola Davis is in there, Shania Twain, all these people who've had these incredible stories of should I jump or not, and what happened after. And this book is for anybody who's thinking about, should I? Am I scared? I don't know. I like this is better than the unknown. Well, sometimes take a risk and find out. And this book, I think, will help with like a little nudge.
Well, the thread throughout your whole life is that you face your fears and you don't let it stop you. What is next for you, Hoda?
What's next? What's next is walking my kids to school in the morning and holding their hands. What's next is sitting in the bleachers at a Friday night high school football game with my kids and going to the concession stand. What's next is building this fun business brick by brick and helping women. What's next is tomorrow. I think short term now, and I like it. I like having that short vision. That's all I want, is what's happening next. And it's all filled with goodness.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.